high time, I'd say.
Well, he's busy too, we know. Dear Alexandra, it's hot in the city, and strangely I find my thoughts returning to the years past on the divide. See the paintings? Do they stir you to remember too? The larks, everywhere the larks. The ducks on Ivar's pond, and a lonely seagull lost on its way somewhere. And I think I was but 15 that winter day in Hanover, when Emil's kitten got stranded atop the telephone pole, and I was your hero, for a moment at least. Do you remember?
Yep.
Stop! Please stop! You come down here or I'll spank you. No, I won't. Please come down.
Emil, you and that kitten, I told you to leave her at home.
I was only teaching her how to climb.
Well, she certainly learned in a hurry, didn't she?
You ask her to come down. I won't spank her.
I think she's climbed beyond reach of reason, little brother.
Huh?
I think I saw the Lindstrom's wagon in town. Now, you wait here. I'll see if I can find Carl.
I'm freezing.
Well, keep yourself wrapped up, okay? Stamp your feet. Now, you talk to your kitten. Keep her company.
Thank you, Carl. Well, Alexandra, and how is your father?
The same. It always pleases him when people ask. Thank you, Mrs. Larson.
Good day.
Carl, Emil's kitten has climbed at the top of a pole with nowhere to go.
Haven't we all?
Hurry, Carl. It'll freeze.
Well, I'll have to go to the depot. I think they have some climbing spikes there. Oh, you catch me if I fall, Emil. Aren't we a fun pair? You had enough? Me too. Come on. All right, you hold tight. Go get warm.
You run up to the store, get warm. We'll be leaving shortly. Run now. Take them.
I'll be all right.
Take them. I'm very headstrong.
You talk to the doctor?
He's coming out tomorrow. He says Father can't ever get well. It's only a matter of time, and not much of that.
Why don't I drive you as far as our road? Emil can sleep in the back.
Won't your folks mind if you don't go back with him?
No, they're about ready to go. I'll just tell them to go on. If they're alone, they can talk about how bad things are. If I'm with them, they hardly talk at all.
Not everyone's cut out to be a farmer.
I wonder if this place is cut out to be farmed.
She was so
Marie, the boys here want you to decide which of them you want for sweetheart.
Take me, honey. Ready?
Here is my sweetheart.
Alexandra, what do you think of my little niece, eh, Marie? She's pretty, don't you think?
Oh, she is, Joe. She's from Omaha, isn't she?
Yeah. Bohemian girls are pretty, eh?
We have to go, Emil. Say goodbye to your new little friend.
You can keep it. I've got lots of them.
Thank you very much, Marie. Marie Tversky of Omaha.
Who are you?
I'm Alexandra Bergson, and this is my youngest brother, Emil. And we both think you're very pretty.
Thank you.
I'm awful sorry about your father, Alexandra.
He loves that drawing you made of our windmill. He keeps it pressed in the front of the Bible. I don't know what we're going to do when he goes. Sometimes I wish we could all just go with him and let the grass cover over everything. Like that graveyard back there.
Don't say things like that. Did you ever wonder why I learned to climb telegraph poles? It was just so I could climb up on something. Off this doggone ground. I'd get up there, and I could hear the buzz in the wires. I could almost hear the voices going to all those busy places where things are happening. Can't you see yourself ever leaving here?
I don't know. I just don't know. I keep imagining these fields all turning green one year. Big houses and barns, all fresh painted. Wagon loads of crops and stock going off to the rail yards in Hanover. Am I crazy, Carl?
Maybe that's what it takes. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Shall I take you the rest of the way?
No, you go on.
Well, it's light enough so that I'll be able to see you till you're almost home.
Thank you, Carl.
Alexandra, your mittens!
Come on, then.
Your father wants to talk to you.
Lila Papa.
I heard the boys.
Feeding the horses, shall I call them?
No. Come closer. Alexandra, you will have to do the best you can for your brothers now. Everything will come on you. You're the head of the family now. I know you love your brothers, but we both know they'd lose every inch we've gained inside a year. Don't let them get discouraged and go off. I want them to keep the land.
We will, Papa. We will never lose the land.
Oscar, I could hear the mare. Are you keeping her in the big stall?
I forgot, Papa. I'll go move her.
Now, do it later. You saw the doctor. I'm sure you know. I won't be in the field with you come spring. You will have to work all the harder, but it's free and clear now. That should help. Someone has to be in charge. Alexandra is the oldest. She knows my wishes. Follow her orders. She will manage the best she can. You've heard me say it. Work a few more acres every year. At least a few. Always put up more hay than you need. And don't grudge your mother the time for plowing her garden or setting out fruit trees. She has been a good mother to you. And she has always missed the old country.
I feel he won't last the night.
We'll make out, Mother.
You're the only one who knows how to make this place run, Alexandra.
You suppose this country will ever give in?
You must do it for Emil. Do you know the only reason I wanted Emil so late? So I could send a part of myself away from here. Will you see that he breaks free of this place one day?
I promise, Mother. I will do the best I can.
Do you remember? It was 2 years after your father died. The day we saw the seagull.
Hey, Carl! Run away to Crazy Evar's! Buy a hammock! Want to come along?
Yes?
Should you be running on the Sabbath?
If running's a sin, the Lord wouldn't have made jackrabbits.
Better tell Emil, Carl. If old crazy Ivar comes a-howling after him, he'd better hide in a gopher hole.
Stop now. He's not crazy. He just has a different set of feelings about things. We have no guns.
We wanted the horses, Ivar? Rough road here.
Yeah. Give them a little feed. This mare's got a cold at home, huh?
They're just fine, Ivar. Don't be pretending to find some disease on them now.
You're Emil. Be tall as me pretty quick.
Didn't you have something you want to ask, Ivar?
About ducks. I wanted to ask about ducks.
You came on the right day. Today, I know everything about ducks. Come along.
When they fly like a V, why do they keep changing places?
Oh, well, in the front is the hardest to cut the wind. So they trade places to keep going. In the back, they can rest. Fly for hours by trading off.
Ivar, look, a seagull.
Yeah. Came in yesterday. Caught between two oceans. She cried all night. Came racing toward the house once, seeing the light. Thought it was a boat, maybe.
There she goes.
Well, she knows she doesn't belong here. Too far away from where she wants to be. There are people like that.
Yes, there are.
I'll take a look at your hammock, Ivar. But I came today more because I wanted to talk to you. I need some advice. We have a big bunch of hogs. I wouldn't sell in the spring when everyone said I should. Now everybody's losing their hogs, and I'm frightened. What can be done?
If a hog could whisper in your ear, you know what she would say? She would say, just because I'm ugly does not mean I like to be filthy. The truth. So, you have a sorghum patch. Have the boys fence it off, run them in down to clean ground. Give them shade. Let the boys haul them clean water in barrels and plenty. Yeah. Give them grain, clean feed. They'll stay strong and healthy.
Next thing, the hogs will whisper they want to sleep with us.
We'll be the laughing stock of the neighbors.
Unless people around here are willing to learn a few things, there won't be many neighbors left. There are more moving out every week, and I don't plan to be among them. And I'll take that hammock too, Ivar. I came to make a fair trade.
I've been saving one for you. Just for you. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field.
He's crazy.
Not hardly. Well, it's settled. We're really going away. My father was offered his job back at the cigar factory in St. Louis. I'm going to study with a German engraver. Then maybe to Chicago or New York. I'm not sure.
Yes, you have to go. You're wasting your life here. But all the same, I can't help feeling scared when I think how I'll miss you. More than you'll ever know.
I'll send you pictures of where I am.
Will you write to me?
As long as I live. I want to do something you'll be proud of.
Since you've been here, I've never really been lonely. Now I shall have no one but Emil. But he's my boy.
There. You see? Even Carl's folks know when to quit.
Mr. Lindstrom never made out. He admits it.
There's something in knowing when to quit. Chris Arnson just traded his half section for a place down by the river. He traded with Charlie Fuller.
Is that where you want to go, down on the river?
Any place where things will grow.
Charlie Fuller has a head on him. He's buying and trading for every acre of land he can get his hands on. He knows what it will be worth someday.
What if you're wrong, Alexandra? Just once. We're the ones in the fields from dark to dark.
So your minds are made up?
Didn't say that. We only said you should think about it.
More than just think about it. This highland wasn't never meant to grow nothing on.
I'll not go. If you leave, I'll ask a neighbor to take me in.
You can't do that, Mama.
I can and I will. Why do we live in a log house? Because I wouldn't let us live in a sod one, like some burrowing animals. You think I preserve fruit like a crazy woman because I have time on my hands? I do it so we keep a taste for being civilized. So we don't fall to eating with our hands. It's too late for me to start over. I'll be buried here by Father. I don't want to leave him alone on the prairie for the cattle to run over.
boys work hard, Mama. When you barely get your eyes off the ground all day, it's hard to look ahead. Maybe we're too set against making a change. If there's a better chance for us elsewhere, I owe it to all of us to look. How would you like to go traveling for a few days, Emil? I think we should take a little trip down to the river country.
I don't own this, ma'am. This here place is all owned by a rich man, Mr. Worth in town. No way a man like me could ever hope to have a place like this. Not in 100 years.
Thank you.
It's a new kind of clover I discovered while I was away at school. Here, it's called alfalfa. Nobody around here wants to try it, but I think I'll get half again a tonnage of hay per acre. You've got to do that to make out.
There's nothing down there for us, Emil. It's too late. We could scrape along, but we could never do anything big. Look out there, Emil. Isn't that glorious?
Huh?
Up here is where the big chance lies. Up here in the high land. I want to hold on harder than ever, Emil. One day, when you're a man, you'll thank me.
You're crying. Why are you crying, Xandra?
For the first time, coming back, I feel this is home. Not a strange land anymore. Home. This must be how it happens. It must be. The history of every country like this begins in the heart of a man or a woman.
I think you're picturing it worse than it is.
Well, then you boys should go look for yourselves. The rich men down there own all the best land, and they're buying all they can get for 3 times as much as this.
So, what do? Scrape along here till we're old and bent?
No, we buy every acre we can till we're old and rich. Now, I figured it out. We sell most of the cattle, and what corn we have left over, we buy the Lindstrom place. Then we take out 2 loans on our half section and buy Peter Crow's place.
More mortgages.
We're lucky. The bank trusts us.
Why wouldn't they? They love to watch us break our backs. How do you know this is the right thing to do?
I can't explain it. I just have a feeling about this land all of a sudden. There's something stirring. When you drive out over the country, you can feel it coming.
I dread signing them pieces of paper. All the time as a boy, we had a mortgage hanging over us. But we're in so deep now. We may as well go deeper. There may be a chance that way.
I don't want you boys to always have to work like this. I don't want you to have to grub for every dollar. I want you to be independent, and for Emil to go to school. One day, you'll see. This is the right thing to do.
Maybe it'll come out right. But signing papers is signing papers. And I know maybe about that.
He sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills, and they give drink to every beast of the field. Is that right, Ivar? Carl? Can you hear me, Carl? Am I crazy? I'm staying, Carl. Staying with the land.
Years. They call me Miss Bergson now, Carl. My dream has come true. What I felt stirring in the long grass was the future. The land has come to life. How I wish you could see it.
Whoa, whoa. Well, that's not much of a job for a college athlete. What time did you get over here? I've been to town and back. Alexandra lets you sleep late since you've been home. How she spoils you. Why do you turn your eyes away? Look at you. Just like that winter day you came to the store with that little kitten and I gave you a ribbon.
Doesn't do any good to look at you. You're never in one spot long enough to identify. And whom might I be addressing?
There. It's talk like that that scares the girls, Emil.
Stop trying to pair me off with the girls around here, Marie. They're fine for here, but here is not where I plan to be for long.
So you have a faraway look for a girl. Oh, I wish I had an athlete to mow my orchard. I get wet to my knees when I go down to pick the fruit.
Why don't you ask your husband to cut it?
Well, Frank's angry at me.
For what?
I can't quite remember. I can never remember, and he never forgets.
I'll mow it for you. Better wait until after it rains.
Will you? Now, there's a good boy. Oh, Emil, aren't you excited about Angelique and Amedee's wedding?
Yes. I just wish you weren't acting so foolish about it. Getting married is serious business.
I don't know if I can get Frank to the wedding supper and dance. He's so cranky right now.
There'll be barrels of beer.
If I do, you mustn't dance with me but once or twice. You must dance with all the French girls. Hurts their feelings if you don't.
I'll make everyone happy by not dancing with anyone.
Why are you so sour today?
I'm sorry.
Would it offend you if I offered you a ride home?
I think I can manage to be pleasant about it. I'll be finished soon. Wait for me.
I brought you a young college athlete looking for work. He's only good for cutting grass, but he is quite beautiful, isn't he?
Quite.
He's also quite hungry.
Dinner's ready. How's Frank?
All right. If it weren't for the headaches. Dreadful headaches.
Thanks for the ride.
Oh, I'm sorry I teased you, Emil. Forgive me.
Always. Always.
Frank is so excitable. But he shouldn't regard life as the enemy.
Oh, I guess it's mostly my fault. The farm was my idea. Frank
Wasn't cut out to be a farmer. It's like he hates every day of it. It's hard on a man. But he's done so well with the place. His Lindstroms would never recognize it. Oh, that's sad, isn't it? The Lindstroms never got to see the orchard fully grown. I think about that often. Oh, Alexandra, I love the orchard so. Carl Lindstrom would be pleased to hear that. Carl Lindstrom was your young man, wasn't he? He was my best friend. Come visit, Alexandra. Please do. I'll call.
No, not the telephone. Everybody listens. I want to hear all about Carl Lindstrom.
Goodbye. You like the biscuits, Nils?
Oh, wonderful.
Signa made them. Didn't you, Signa?
Yes, Mom.
No, bottoms are a little tough.
Is the silo filled, Barney?
Not nearly. That newfangled silo of yours will hold a barnful and then some in it. And your brother Lou says he wouldn't have one in his place. Says the feed out of it'd give the stock bloat.
Well, the only way we can find out is to try. Lou and I have different notions, but that's a good thing. If all the members of a family think alike, they'll never get anywhere. Lou can learn from my mistakes, and I can learn from his. Isn't that fair, Barney?
Not by half. You make so many more mistakes than you that you're bound to run a surplus, right, boys? And Lou keeps telling me that you play your hands too much.
And I tell him my men have plowed a mile of furrow before his have gotten the horses out of the barn.
Do you hear that, boys? Back to work. Come on. Em, come have a look. We're giving you full credit for the silo, you know.
Just in case it doesn't work, right?
Can't fool a college man now, can I?
What is it, Eli?
Mistress, there's been talk about me lately.
What kind of talk?
About sending me to the asylum.
Nobody has come to me with such talk. You know I would never consent to such a thing.
They say you cannot prevent it if the folk complain of me, if your brothers complain to the authorities.
I'm still running my own house. So long as I'm suited with you, there's nothing to be said.
You know that my spells come from God. I would not harm any living creature.
Let people go on talking as they like. We will go on living as we think best. They want everyone to fit in now. They don't like anyone to be different.
At home, in the old country, there were many like me who'd been touched by God, who'd seen things in the graveyard at night and were different afterward. Here, the man is different. They put him in the asylum.
People are afraid of what they don't understand. Why, likely as not, they'll talk of sending me to the asylum for building a silo. And then I'll take you with me, because I couldn't do without you. You've been my right hand for 12 years, Eva. Lou and Oscar are coming for dinner on Sunday. I'll speak to them and put an end to this foolishness.
And they say going barefoot in the winter makes me crazy. I say it's a way of doing penance. What do you say?
Never mind about your feet, Eva. Why, we can remember when half our neighbors went barefoot in summer.
Oh, you know what they got over at Lou's house? A great white tub to wash themselves in. Lou's old mother-in-law only pretends to use it. Then when they're asleep, she washes in a little wooden tub she keeps under the bed.
We'll start an asylum for old-time people. Then we'll all go.
This is always the way, mistress. I come to you sorrowing, you send me away with a light heart.
Before you boys go today, what's this I hear about Ivar?
It's Lou who got the information.
What information?
When I was on convention in Hastings, I talked to the superintendent of the asylum. Now, he's a doctor, and he said Ivar's type is one of the most dangerous kind, and it's a wonder he hasn't done something violent before this.
Nonsense, Lou. Doctors would have us all crazy if they could. Ivar's odd, certainly. But he's got more sense than half the hands I hire.
Oh, I guess the doctor knows his business, Alexandra. He says Ivar is likely to set fire to the barn any night, or to take after you and the girls with an axe.
We all know Ivar's perfectly harmless. Why, the girls would as soon expect me to come after them with an axe.
All the same, the neighbors will have a say before long. It's only necessary for one property owner to make complaint, and Ivar will be taken up by force. You'd better send him yourself and not have any hard feelings.
If any of my good neighbors try anything, I will have myself appointed Ivar's guardian and take the case to court. That's all. But I'll see to it that he stays at home, so you needn't trouble yourselves any more about him. Lou, I wanted to ask about your new bathtub. How does it work?
Oh, it works something grand. I can't keep him out of it. He washes himself all over 3 times a week now. You really ought to have one, Alexandra.
Yes, I'm thinking of it. Perhaps I'll put one in the barn for Ivar. That might ease people's minds. Come along, girls. You can pick some flowers that Ivar planted. Millie, pick some of those beautiful blue flowers.
Don't you know me, Alexandra? I would have known you anywhere.
Oh, can it be Carl Lindstrom? Oh, Carl, it is. Millie, run tell your father and Uncle Oscar our old friend Carl Lindstrom is here. Be quick. Carl, I can't believe this.
I couldn't go through this country without stopping off to see you. How little you've changed.
Oh.
I was sure it would be like that. How fine you are.
Oh. But you, Carl, with that beard, how could I have known you? You went away a boy.
Let me.
Sorry, I don't know how to behave. I only have women come visit me. Where's your trunk?
I left it in Hanover. I'm on my way to the coast. I can only stay for a few days.
A few days? After all this time, you won't get away so easily. You owe me a long visit for old time's sake. But why must you go to the coast?
I'm on my way to Alaska.
Alaska? Oh, to paint the Indians.
Paint? No, I'm not a painter. I'm an engraver.
Oh, but on my wall, I have all your paintings.
Oh, watercolor sketches. I sent them to remind you of me. Anyway, I have a friend who has a claim up there. He's asked me to go in with him. Maybe I can make my fortune.
Boys, look who's here. Our old Carl.
Hello, Carl.
Oscar.
Carl.
Lou.
Ain't you one for surprises?
I'm glad to see you. Annie. Girls are yours, I can tell.
Carl Lindstrom. My, I never expected to see you again.
Carl is on his way to Alaska.
Got business there? Yes, I'm going to get rich. Engraving's a very interesting profession, but a man never makes much money at it. So I'm going to try the goldfields.
I've told Evar to bring the carriage around. Take the girls and get your things. Yeah, you boys put the cherries in the carriage. Get along now. Their motor isn't going anywhere right now. Going to be staying with us sometime?
A few days, if Alexandra can keep me.
You fellas back in New York must be a tame lot.
Now, Lou.
You have all the power and money back there, but you're gonna hear from the West one of these days. If you had a few of us back there, we'd march down to Wall Street and we'd blow it up.
Waste of powder, Lou. Same business would just go on another street. You fellows out here shouldn't worry. Morgan himself couldn't touch you. Only have to drive through this country today to see you're all rich as barons.
We have a good deal more to say than when we were poor. Those that ran off should see it now, eh?
Come along, girls. Now be careful, Stella. That's too heavy for you to carry.
Annie, let me help you with those.
Oh, thank you very much. You haven't met my daughters, have you? Millie's 15.
What do you suppose he wants?
I'd like to pay us a visit. I've been begging him to come for years.
Funny how he waited until you were well fixed and needing nothing before he showed his face again.
He's mining for gold, all right. And I don't think it's in Alaska.
He never was much account.
Boys, all ready? You ready back there? Huh? You all ready back there?
Changed it all.
Oh! Good day, Carl.
Good basket. There we go.
Oh, get up, Smokey.
Bye now.
Evar. You don't remember me.
The young man who wanted to know about the seagulls who visited my pond.
I've often felt like that seagull, Evar. Never really sure where home is.
Well, you'll know. You'll know. When the feeling strikes that you've been there before.
You've worked wonders with this land, Alexandra.
Oh, he hadn't any of us much to do with it, Carl. The land did it. It just pretended to be poor because nobody knew how to work it. And then all at once it worked itself. Woke up from its sleep and stretched itself, and suddenly we found we were rich just from sitting still. And then I went ahead and built the house. I built it for Amon. I want you to see him, Carl. He's so different from the rest of us.
How different?
Oh, you'll see. I'm sure it was to have sons like Amon. That father left the old country.
Is he going to farm here with you?
He can do what he wants to do. He's going to have a chance, a whole chance. That's what I've worked for. He's away tonight at his friend Amade's wedding. Emil is best man. I want him to be free to do as he pleases. Like you. I sometimes think about Mother and Father and all those who are gone. We can remember when this graveyard was wild prairie.
And now the old story's begun to write itself over. I've often thought there are really only 2 or 3 human stories. They just go on repeating themselves as fiercely as if they'd never happened before. Each generation so certain they're the very first. Like the larks out here. They all sing the same 5 notes that larks have been singing for thousands of years. I'll listen to him. He's sure he's the first. Our old place. I forgot who you sold it to.
Oh, Marie Tversky from Omaha and her husband Frank.
Oh, yes. The little doll in the red dress.
She ran away from the convent when she was 18, got married. Foolish child. She came out here with her husband who had nothing. Her father wanted to buy them a place and set them up. I sold them your farm. I'll take you over there.
I suppose I should see the old place, but I dread it. Took a lot of courage to come at all, Alexandra. I wouldn't have if I hadn't wanted to see you very, very much.
Why are you so dissatisfied with yourself?
How direct you always are. Well, you see, measured by your standards here, I'm a failure. I've enjoyed many things, but I've got nothing to show for it all.
Oh, but you show for it yourself, Carl. I would rather have had your freedom than my land. And I would rather have Emil grow up like that than like his brothers. I felt that as soon as you came.
You know, being here with you, I feel almost as if I'd never left.
Oh, Emil, why did you?
Well, I like that. You asked me to come yourself, Marie.
I know. I didn't think. They were having such a good time, and now we've spoiled it all for them.
I'm not going hunting with you anymore. You're as bad as Eovar.
Don't be cross, Emil. Eovar's right about wild things. They're much too happy to kill. We won't do that anymore.
Right. I'm sorry I made you feel bad. I wish I knew sometimes what it takes to please you, Marie.
You were up and out early this morning.
I wanted to walk up to the pasture corners, where we used to meet when we went to the cows.
How you hated cows.
Are you at all disappointed in our coming together again? Is it the way you'd hoped it would be?
Sometimes when I've thought of it, I've been a little afraid. You've lived where things move so fast. Everything is so slow here. People slowest of all.
Oh, that's strange. I find it easy to be frank with you about everything except yourself.
You're afraid of hurting my feelings, perhaps?
No. Of giving you a shock. If I were to tell you how you seem to me, it might startle you. But you must know that you astonish me.
I felt you were pleased with me.
Oh, did you?
Oh, look, there's Marie. Marie!
Alexandra! Oh, I was just thinking about you. I'm so glad you came by.
You'll never guess, so I'll tell you.
Yes, I would. It's Mr. Lindstrom. Well, don't tell me I'm wrong. I can't be.
Carl and his father planted this orchard. Remember I told you?
Yes. I have to apologize. The grass is so overgrown. Frank never has time, but Emil said he would come by and mow it for me.
How can you possibly remember me?
I remember you drew some little birds and flowers for me on a piece of wrapping paper once.
Some of us ain't got time for birds and flowers and wrapping paper.
Frank, I want you to meet Carl Lindstrom. His family owned this farm.
Yeah, well, if he come right back, he come on a good day. Mrs. Hilly's hogs in my wheat again. I'm gonna take that woman to court, I swear I am.
Mrs. Hiller only has her lame son to help her. She does the best she can.
Always she taking sides against me. All the neighbors know it. They all take advantage, all of them.
Please, Frank, don't let it bother you so. I'll go see what I can do.
Hogs, you say? I'll lend you a hand. I think I still remember the language.
It's just the natural order of things, Frank. Hogs always want what's on the other side of a fence.
No. She'd rather not be around me anyway. You can see that.
Oh, you can't believe that.
Sitting here hour by hour, dreaming. Not about me, you can bet.
Marie has always had a fanciful mind. It's what makes her such a delight. People count you a very lucky man, Frank.
They're laughing at me behind my back. They know I don't belong here.
But you're getting on so well now. Why, even Carl said how nice the farm looks.
Every day is a struggle. You see, it's a torture to wake up every morning.
It'll get easier, Frank. You'll see.
I shouldn't have married her. Just a young thing. Too young for me, that's for sure. She brought me to this place, and now she turns against me. She loved me once. She hides from me. She hides what's here in her heart. We are like strangers living here.
Come on, I'll walk with you to the house.
I got back just in time. Topsy knew it was coming. She ran like the wind.
Did you ride over to see the newlyweds?
Yes. Angelique seemed to be busy getting Amadeus supper, so I didn't bother them.
We walked over to Marie's. She said you promised to mow the orchard for her. After this rain would be a good time.
She has a husband to mow her orchard.
Frank? You know how that goes.
Yes, I know how that goes.
He seems to be at loose ends these days. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he strikes out on his own soon.
You'll miss him.
Oh, yes, I will. But it'll be exciting to see him spread his wings. Stake out a piece of the world for himself. Don't you think?
There, that's the look. How can you be forever 19?
There you are. When I heard it raining last night, I thought you might be here today.
I said I'd come.
Frank's gone to town for fencing. The wind awakened me. Didn't it blow dreadfully in the night?
Yes.
Smell the wild roses. Will you have to cut them too?
If I cut the grass, I will.
Oh. Oh, look, you've already cut off so many.
I can never seem to please you, can I?
Stop that, of course you do. You please me more than anyone. Aren't the trees beautiful? You know, the Bohemians used to worship trees, and some still believe that they bring good or bad luck. I feel as if this one knows all of my thoughts when I sit under it.
And it's one of the lucky ones.
I think I could worship trees if I didn't have the church. Do you like Mr. Lindstrom?
I guess so. Nice enough.
Alexandra's in love with him, you know.
Are you crazy? Alexandra's never been in love. She wouldn't know how to go about it.
You'd be surprised. It would serve you all right if she walked away with him. That's how much you know about love.
How dare you say that?
Well, don't you hurt him.
How can you keep rattling on like we're still children? We're not children anymore. Sometimes you look at me, and I think you know. And then you pretend you don't, and you treat me like a little boy again. I can show you I'm not a little boy any longer, Marie.
No, don't. If I understand, then all of our good times are over.
Good times aren't enough anymore.
Anyway, there's nothing to understand that won't last. It will all go away, and things will be just as they used to.
They won't. We've played all the games over and over and over. There's only one thing left for us.
I knew this day was coming. But I kept making up things to say to hold it back. Here it is. Why did this have to happen? Don't you see what you've done to us? Oh, Emil. All of our good times are over.
For heaven's sakes, what is it? I know you boys well enough. When you don't say anything, it means you want something. If this is about Ivar, you can save your breath. I don't want to curse on Sabbath.
It's about Carl Lindstrom.
He's been here near a month. People have started to talk.
Everybody knows Carl is just after your money, your property.
Oh, I see. It's not my good name that concerns you. It's my money and my property.
We always listen to you. Now, you better listen to us. All you got came from the old homestead that Lou and I worked so hard at.
As if I didn't. It was all divided equally when you left to marry. What we each have since is of our own making.
Oh, we don't see it that way. Everything you've made has come out of the original land that us boys worked for, hasn't it? The farms and all that comes out of them belongs to us as a family.
You're talking nonsense, Lou. Go to the county clerk. Ask him who owns my land and whether my titles are good.
The property of a family belongs to the men of the family. They do the work.
You know, I shouldn't think you'd want to remind us how hard you were on us, Alexandra.
Hard on you. Why, Lou, I can remember when you and Oscar wanted to sell the homestead and all improvements to old Preacher Erickson for $2,000. You would have gone down to the river and scraped along on poor farms for the rest of your lives. You fought me about planting alfalfa because I'd heard about it from a young man who had been to the university. Alfalfa has been the salvation of this country. I had to raise 3 big wheat crops before my neighbors quit putting all their land into corn. Why, Lou, you cried when we planted the first wheat. You said everybody was laughing at us.
That's the woman of it. If she tells you to put in a crop, she thinks she's put it in.
Makes women conceited to meddle in business. Everybody's laughing to see you get taken in. And at your age, too.
You aren't fooling anyone. Everyone knows Carl's almost 5 years younger than you. What a laugh. Why, you are near 40 years old, Alexandra. You wouldn't know what to do with a man.
That concerns only Carl and me. Not you. Not anyone else. If you ask your lawyers what your rights are, the only authority you will ever exert over me anymore will be just what the law allows. I think I would have rather not lived to find out what I have today.
Get up!
I love you too. Emile. You Swedes are too cold-blooded. You need a French girl to warm your blood. There, huh? Take your pick.
Come on, Amadee, cut it out.
Monique. Give you fine sons and great pastries. Or how about Babette? You won't freeze in winter with her around, huh? I said stop it! Is that all you think about? No, you've made your choice. Now leave me alone to make mine. I'm sorry, huh? I was only kidding. Don't be a boss, Croft. I was just joking, Emile. Come back. Emile! Emile! Come back! I was just joking! I don't understand.
So I've decided I'm going to Mexico City, just as soon as I can get ready. Donald Barnes, one of the fellows from the university, heads an electrical plant down there. It's a little job, but it'll pay my way while I look around. What's the matter? I thought you wanted me to strike out on my own.
Oh, I do, Emil. It's just I seem to be losing my whole family in the same day. I had a terrible argument with your brothers over Carl. And now you're leaving.
Over Carl?
They're afraid I'm going to marry him.
What nonsense. It's just like...
Why nonsense, Emil?
Why, you've never thought of such a thing, have you?
You oughtn't take things for granted. I've had a pretty lonely life. Beside Marie, Carl is the only friend I've ever had.
Well, you should do just as you wish. I think Carl's a fine fellow. The boys are suspicious of him because he's intelligent. Carl's a sensible fellow. He won't mind them. Marie said it would serve us all right if you walked off with him.
Did she? Bless her heart.
Well, that's what she said. Ask her. I think you should do just as you please.
You've seen Lou and Oscar, haven't you?
Yes.
And now you're going away?
It's not because of them. Honestly, I can't stay. If I don't do this one important thing on my own, I'd never make a good husband. I'd always be just around, like a permanent guest, never knowing where to sit at the table with the hired hands.
I have a feeling if you go away, you won't come back. Something will happen to one of us. People have to snatch at happiness when they can in this world, Carl. I don't need money, but I've needed you for a long time. What I have is yours if you care enough about me to take it.
To take what you'd give me, I'd either have to be a very large man or a very small one, and I'm only in the middle class. This is a great gamble for me, Alexandra. Can't you see? If I don't give you up now, try to make something of myself, I could never hope to keep you one day. Forever.
Yes, you will. Emil, too, is going away. All at once, in a single day, I seem to lose everything, and I don't know why. The sights to behold in Mexico City are almost too much for the eye to take in. There are flower markets and fountains everywhere. Street bands and dancing seem to greet you at every turn. Carriages rattle up and down through the crowded streets. And yesterday, I stood for an hour, watching a little blind bootblack in front of the cathedral, who can play any tune you ask for by dropping the lids of blacking boxes on the stone steps. Can you imagine that?
Yes. I can imagine it all. And Emil getting brown as a native. Mr. Lindstrom could paint pictures of it all if he were down there, couldn't he?
Oh, yes, I suppose he could.
You're so strong, Alexandra. You're not teased by romantic notions running around in your head. A handsome stranger you saw only for a second, maybe. Daydreams of chance encounters that could change the rest of your life.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Marie.
Tell me.
No.
Please tell me. No. Oh, Alexandra, you're my closest friend. I'll be hurt if you don't tell me. Please. Please.
This is just a fancy that's visited me since girlhood. Most often on Sunday mornings, the one day I had the luxury of staying late in bed. I'd listen to the morning sounds, the windmills singing in the breeze, and Emil whistling as he blacked his boots by the kitchen door. I'd close my eyes, and I would get this feeling of being lifted up bodily, carried lightly by someone very strong. A man, certainly, but like no one I know. So strong and swift, he carried me as easily as if I were a sheaf of wheat.
What did he look like?
I never saw him. But with my eyes closed, I could feel that he was yellow like the sunlight and had the smell of ripe cornfields about him. He would come near me and bend over me and lift me up. And I could feel myself being whisked out across the fields.
Does Emil say if he might be home to visit?
Yes, in June.
So long. Well, he'll be in time for the church fair. Maybe he'll bring that Mexican costume with him. All the girls in booths will be wearing costumes. I bet he'll even know how to play that guitar by then.
I see a long voyage across the sea. A mission of great importance.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anything else?
You will be seasick for 7 days and 7 nights.
You just got home, and you're 1,000 miles away. What's the matter, my friend?
You're right. I'm leaving for the university to study law.
That's wonderful. My best friend, to be a famous lawyer.
I leave for Ann Arbor Friday.
I know. You can't. Not until after Sunday, me. There's a big confirmation service this Sunday. Over 100 this year. We will all ride out to meet the bishop. I wanted you to ride with me in the cavalcade.
I'm sorry. If I wait, I'll miss the enrollment. What's the matter, Amade? You all right? You all right?
Too much rich food.
Oh, there. It's better. It's better. You should see a doctor.
Doctors are for babies and old people. I am the strongest horse on my farm.
Yeah, but if you don't feel well, you should...
Look, when Father Duchesne comes out of Mary's tent, I'm going to sneak up to the vestibule of the church and turn off the current to the electric light.
Leave me out of this.
Oh, come on. Give every boy a chance to kiss his sweetheart before it's time to leave. Don't be such a bad sport, Emile.
What am I supposed to do?
The only trouble is the candle in Mary's tent. You go in, have your fortune told. When the lights go out, you blow out the candle.
No, I can't do that.
I will watch for you to go into the tent. Now get on with you, Senor Emile.
All right, come on now, come on now.
Do you think you could tell my fortune?
I'm angry at you, Emil. You've purposely not even said hello all night.
A man's entitled to a certain measure of self-protection.
Don't I deserve even some scrap of friendship?
No, Marie, on my honor, say you love me. Just say it. I'll go away forever. I will. Just once say you love me. It'll last me all my life.
How could I help it? Didn't you know?
Emil. Emil, it's Amadei. He's had an attack. Appendicitis. They took him to St. Agnes. But it was too late. Amadei is dead.
I should have known. At the church fair, he was hurting. Why didn't I see?
Emil, you cannot blame yourself.
He used to do cartwheels trying to make me laugh. And I was always the one who had to be pleased. All he ever wanted was to see me enjoy life like him. I couldn't even trouble myself to be a friend.
Time will the bishop arrive at the crossroads? At 12. We must leave soon.
Amadei's cousin asked me to take Amadei's place.
Fine. Let's go!
was dreaming this just now. Don't take my dream away.
Thank thee, Heavenly Father, for graciously keeping me tonight. Merciful God. Merciful God.
Eva, what on earth?
It has fallen. Sin and death for the young ones. God have mercy upon us.
What, Eva? I'm so tired I didn't know how I was going to get home.
God.
Eva, I'm fine.
I take better care of the stock.
The storm was upon me before I noticed.
Scare poor Signet to death. She takes the blame.
Ever since Emil died, I've suffered so when it rained. But now that I've been out in it with him, I won't dread it, I think. Once you get cold clear through, the feeling of the rain on you is sweet. It seems to bring back feelings you had when you were a baby. It carries you back into the dark before you were born. You can't see things, but they come to you somehow. And you know them. And you're not afraid of them. Like Emil being in there.
You mustn't visit this place again. For a while. Have 2 calves due tonight.
Doesn't seem to matter anymore.
What? The little newborn calves coming into the world for the first time. Their eyes looking at you as their first friend. Oh, my. I never get over the feeling of it, I tell you. I think Mr. Lindstrom will come soon.
I don't think so. I wrote him 3 months ago. It's better this way. I'm sure it's meant that I finish my life alone now. What's left is really unimportant.
Oh. Shame on you. Here, I will not ride with the dead. Not.
Oh, come on now, Ivar. You're being silly.
Silly? Who's to drive on here, I ask you?
Oh, and who's walking barefoot in the dirt with his handkerchief about to fall out?
I don't see that. I don't see that.
I think I should go to the prison in Lincoln and visit Frank Shabata.
I think somebody should. He's not got a friend. 10 years he's going to spend there. I don't think he knew what he did.
Maybe I'm as much to blame. How many times did I go out of my way to put Emil and Marie together?
Blame keeps wounds open, Miss Alexander. Only forgiveness heals.
You'll wake me tonight if the cats come.
Yeah.
Take as long as you like, Miss Bergson. Just call the guard when you're ready.
Your brother was a fine boy, Miss Bergson. I never meant to harm him. I wish I could see him standing here alive right now. I would gladly die to see that. I hope you believe it.
I didn't come here to blame you. I think they were more to blame than you. And I, too. I should have seen it. It was right there, since they were children.
I never in my life carried a gun. You can ask Ivar.
He said as much, Frank.
I would look foolish with a gun. Why did I put my hand on it? She was such a pretty little thing. I should have known the first day I spied her. She was 16. And when she's going away, I give her my picture to take. Yeah. It was a trap. But you can't trap a free little bird like that, can you? I married Maria. Not that woman. Under the tree.
Frank, listen to me. I'm going to try to get you pardoned. I'll never give the governor any peace until I can get you out of this place.
If I get out of here, I don't trouble this country no more. I go back to the old country. See my mother. So, why you do this?
I can't help Emil now. So I'm going to do what I can to help you. I came here on purpose to tell you this.
Alessandra. I always liked that boy. I don't mean to harm him.
You got my letter.
What letter? I ran onto the news in an old San Francisco paper. I've been on the run to you ever since.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Oh, so am I. So am I.
Yes, I think I would like to visit Alaska with you next spring. I haven't been on the water since we crossed the ocean when I was a little girl. But you would never ask me to go away for good, would you, Carl?
Of course not. I think I know how you feel about this country as well as you do yourself.
Yes, I still feel that way, though Emil is gone. When I was on the train this morning, when we got near Hanover, I felt just like that time I drove back with Emil from the river. I was glad to come back to it. There's a great peace here, Carl, and freedom.
You belong to the land. Now more than ever.
Oscar and Lou are so worried I won't will this land to their children. Might as well try and will them the sunset. We come and go, but the land is always here. And the people who love it and understand it are the people who own it. For a little while. Do you think you can feel at home here now?
When I saw you coming up the road this morning, I rediscovered something I knew when I was 15. I'm at home whenever I'm beside you.
I think we shall be very happy. I haven't any fears. I think when friends marry, they're safe. We don't suffer like those young ones. I'm tired. I've been very lonely, Carl.